How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be seeing if this old XF700 here is going to fire up. I'm going to try to do a cold start on this thing. It's been sitting in the snowbank here for a couple days, so let's see if she'll fire. All right, here goes. See if this thing will fire up. So if you got some juice. Here we go. She took a little longer to crank than I was hoping, but I have no idea how old that gas is or anything in there. I've not driven this at all yet, so. But she runs. She started up, fired up. Let's let her warm up for a minute. As you can tell, she runs. Snow here is pretty good right now for beginning of January. Usually not this much, but we're gonna get this thing in the garage, thaw her out, and do a little bit of service on it. All right, everybody, we've got the old XF here in the garage, so let's get it up on the lift so we can do the maintenance on the chain case, change the oil in there, as well as change the oil in the engine. So let's get her on the lift, get some panels pulled off, and let's get going on this. Alright, as you can see, we've removed the hood and both side panels. We've got the console loose here. A lot of guys remove that, but I think I'll just bungee that back for now. I am going to remove this lower belly pan next, and we're going to pull the muffler out. So we'll do that, and then I'll show you what we'll do next. But you do not really have to remove the belly pan. I'm just going to do it to make it a little bit easier for everybody to see. So let's get that done. Alrighty, I got the belly pan removed. We took the muffler off, and we also removed the footwell shroud here so that we have more access to, right here is the drain plug, as well as getting at the bolts for the chain case, because we're going to pull off the oil tank chain case cover here once we're done draining the oil. So the next step is going to be to drain the oil. So let's get after that. You're going to use a, I believe a 14 or a 9/16 for this drain plug here. And then we're also going to have to pull this shroud off the bottom of the motor here. And up on here, inside the engine there, you have the, or in the engine compartment, you have the oil filter and another engine drain plug to drain the actual crankcase. So here we're just draining the oil tank, but let's get both of those drained. To remove this lower engine bay compartment cover, it's a T30, or yeah, T30 Torx. This oil actually doesn't look too bad. Not very dark at all. But I have no idea how long it's been in there, so you gotta do it. All right, we've got the oil plug out of here. It's draining. We've got the oil plug out of the engine, and that's draining. And while we're waiting for that to drain, I'm going to start removing some of this stuff to be able to get the oil tank and the chain case cover off of the inner chain case. So first, let's disconnect some of this electronics here. Disconnect our speedometer sensor. We have to remove this servo, reverse servo from the chain case here. Looks like about a T25. And then inside here we have the sprocket or gear for the reverse mechanism. Alright, now we can start removing the bolts that hold the chain case cover on. Those are going to be a T30. I think I'm going to need an extension. Alright, I've got all the bolts are on the bottom and the sides loose all the way up, or removed actually, all the way up to these top two are the only ones in, and now it's starting to drain on its own out the bottom. I just give it a little tug here. Probably drain even more. There it goes some more. Pry it open a little bit. Yep. Out she comes. There's also a sight glass right here on the side of the chain case cover down there, so you can see what's going on with your levels. So let's get the last couple bolts removed. I'm going to leave all these oil lines on here and hopefully just swing this thing out of the way. I'm just removing the cover here. I want to do a visual inspection of everything, see how it looks. I may have to disconnect a couple hoses, but we'll find out here. Yeah, let's pop a couple hoses loose here. All right, we got the chain case off here. We got her down here. And inside, it actually looks really clean. You can tell the sled's only got 1,200 miles on it. Must have had the oil changed in here at least once or twice. It's not too dark. There was a little bit of metal shavings on the speedometer pickup down here. And a little bit on this magnet up here, but not a whole lot. So I'm going to squirt this down with some carb cleaner a little bit here, some brake clean, and reinstall. It's looking pretty good in here. All right, got the oil out of the engine, filter off, oil out of the oil tank, chain case off, everything drained, everything cleaned. The filter is finishing draining as we speak. And this is what we purchased to put back in the engine. So crack this baby open here. Comes with a filter, same as the old one, even the Yamaha. Thought it was kind of interesting. I was just sitting in here in the box like this, and there's this hole in the box, and anything on the shelf or in transit, whenever, can just get inside this filter. Thought that was pretty lame. Saw some kits people bought had. Look at there, it comes with a funnel. Some kits. Here we go. New O-ring for the 2 oil plugs we've got. O-ring and a copper washer. So we'll get those put on the plugs, put the plugs back in, put the oil filter back on, and reinstall the chain case and fill this thing up. So we'll get her put back together here. Hardest part is getting at everything and removing the belly pan here. Made that pretty easy. I'm going to start down here in the bottom, the oil plug and the oil filter. Clean everything up, spin her back on here. Just snug. Just gonna barely tighten this. Grab a socket and do it by hand. Ratchet. There we go. Wiping the oil residue off. Alright, we got the chain case cover installed back on here. All the bolts holding the cover to the inner case We've got all the oil lines reattached here. We've reinstalled the plug with a new O-ring. And now we're about to do all this wiring here with the reverse actuator, the speedometer sensor wiring, reverse sensor, reverse actuator wiring. And then we can go ahead and put the muffler back on, put the belly pan back in. But pretty simple here. So let's get this put back together and fill it back with fluids. Alright, we got the exhaust on, reverse actuator on, and I just remembered that is where you put the chain case oil in. So we got to pop these 3 screws out to get the reverse actuator back off to put the chain case oil in. She's in the sight glass. Alright, got some oil in there. It's above the sight glass, but I'm going to fire it up here, run it a little bit, and see where we end up. Probably going to have to add a little more. Ran a little bit, added a little more. We're going to run it again. Did lower down below the sight glass. I filled it back up to the sight glass here. A little bit more. Ended up putting the whole jug in. Wasn't sure if I was going to need to for sure or not, but boom. All right, there it is, all put back together. We've got the oil change done and the chain case service done. Fresh fluids ready to ride for the year. Not too hard, especially when you remove the belly pan, you can get at everything. But buy the kit, comes with exactly what you need, and it's pretty straightforward. Appreciate you guys watching.